Hello children, how are you children? You all are well and fine? So children, in this session today we are going to learn 7th class social studies lesson number 22. The last lesson of this textbook. Open your textbook page number 197 and chapter 22. What is the name of the chapter? See here. Chapter 22. Rulers and buildings. Open your textbook page number 197. See here children, they given here in the figure number 22.1. 22.1. What is the figure, see children here? 22.1. Qutub Minar is a 5-story. Qutub Minar is a 5-story high. 5 stories high. The band of inscriptions you see are under its first balcony. The band of inscription you see are under its first balcony. This is the first balcony. This is the first balcony like this. More 5 balconies are there. It is a 5 stories high. The first floor was constructed by Qutbuddin Aibak and the rest by Iltutmish around 1229. This first balcony, first floor is built by Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, which we are seeing into the figure. This is the first floor is built by Qutbuddin Aibak and the rest 4 floors are built by Iltutmish around 1229. Over the years, it was damaged by lightning and earthquakes. So this is damaged by lightning and earthquakes and repaired by later kings. So again I am calling here friend. Your friend, she will read the lesson. You have to listen her reading and develop your lesson reading skill. Okay na? So I am calling our friend. Come on beta. Wish your friends.
Good morning friends. Today we read chapter 20, Rulers
22.
and 22, Rulers and Buildings. Engineering, civil skills and construction. Monuments provide an insight into the technologies used for construction. Take something like a roof for example. We can make it by placing wooden beams or a slab of stone across 4 walls. But the task becomes difficult if we want to make a large room with an elaborate superstructure. This requires more sophisticated skill. Between the 7th and 10th centuries, doors and windows to buildings, roofs, doors and windows were still made by placing horizontal beams across. Trabecular style was Trabecular style was also used in the construction of temples, mosques, tombs and buildings attached to large stepped wells. Temple construction in the early 11th century. The Kandaliya Mahadeva temple dedicated to Shiva was constructed in Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh, 999 CE by King Dhangadeva. Garbhagriha. This was the place for ritual worship where only the king, his immediate family and priests gathered. The Khajuraho complex contained royal temples where common people were not allowed to enter. The temples were decorated with elaborate carved sculpture. The Raja Rajeshwara temple at Tanjavur had the tallest shikara amongst the temples of its time. Dawn stone for the top of the shikara was of the temple placed the border on rollers. Started more than 4 kilometers away was dismantled after the temple was constructed. Building temples, mosques and tanks. Temples and mosques were beautiful constructed because they were places of worship. They were also meant to of the patrons. Take the example of the Raja Rajendra Deva for the worship of his god. Took the god's name because it was god through the rituals of worship in the another, Raja Rajeshwara. You may recall that the Kakatiya capital city Orugullu was so designed as to have the temple of Swayambhu Shiva at the center. This was built by the Kakatiyas to proclaim independent kings. The largest temple were all constructed temple were gods and goddesses of the ruled by the king and his allies as they the just rule of the gods on earth. The kings and nobles endowed the temples with land, gold and jewels so that the worship of the gods could be carried. As each new dynasty came to power, kings wanted to emphasize their moral right to be worshipped, provided rulers with the chance to proclaim their close relationship with God, especially more important in an age of rapid political change. Rulers also offered patronage to transform their capitals and cities into great cultural centers. Of a just king would be an age of plenty when, by constructing dams and reservoirs, was reservoir just outside Delhi, Kuhna. It was called the Hausi Sultani or the King's Reservoir. Rulers often constructed tanks and reservoirs, big and small, for use by ordinary people. But why were temples destroyed? Since the kings built temples to demonstrate their devotion to God, and when they attacked one another kingdoms, early 9th century, the Pandyan king, Buddhist monk, and chronicler Dharmakirti statue of the Buddha made entirely of gold in the jewel palace, and the golden images seized the blow to the pride of the Sinhalese Sri Lankan ruler had to be second order is general to invade Madurai. The chroniclers noted that the expedition made a statue of the Buddha. Similarly, in the early 11th century, when the Chola king Rajendra I built a Shiva temple. Rajendra I built a Shiva temple in his capital. He filled it with prized statues sized from defeated rulers. The list included a sun pedestal from the Chalukyas, Ganesha statue, several statues of Durga, Nandi statue from the eastern Chalukyas, and images of Bhairava, a form of Shiva, and Bhairavi from the Kalingas of Odisha, and Kali statue from the place of Bengal. Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni was a contemporary of Rajendra I. During his campaigns in the subcontinent, he also attended the temples of defeated kings, and Muhammad was not a very important ruler at the time, especially the one at Somnath. He tried to political culture of the Middle Ages. Most rulers displayed their political might and military success by attacking and looting their places of worship of the defeated rulers.
Thank you. So, children, we will see now. Okay. Engineering skills and construction. Monuments provide an insight into the technologies used for construction. Take something like a roof, for example. We can make it by placing wooden beams or a slab of stone across 4 walls. But the task becomes difficult if we want to make a large room with an elaborate superstructure. This requires more sophisticated skills. So, children, monuments provides an insight into the technologies. If we see the monuments, it provides an insight into the technologies used for construction. If you see the monument of the Charminar, Makkah Masjid, and in Agra, Taj Mahal, if you see such monuments, it provides an insight to the technologies for used or construction. Take something like a roof, for example. Take something like for a roof, for example. We can make it by placing wooden beams or a slab of stone across 4 walls. But the task become difficult if we want to make a large room with an elaborate superstructure. This requires more sophisticated skills. Is it no? Between the 7th and 10th centuries, architects started adding more rooms, doors and windows to buildings. Roofs, doors and windows were still made by placing a horizontal beam across 2 vertical columns. A style of architecture called Trivet or corbelled between the 18th and 13th century. Between the 8th and 13th century, the Trivet style was used in the construction of temples, mosques, tombs and buildings attached to large stepped wells. So children, between the 7th and 10th century, the architecture started buildings with more rooms, doors and windows. Roofs, doors and windows were still made by placing a horizontal beam across 2 vertical columns. A style of architecture called, so this style of architecture is called, what it is called children? Trivet or corbelled. Okay, so this is the style of architecture is called Trivet or corbelled. Which style of architecture? Roofs, doors and windows were still made by placing a horizontal beam across 2 vertical columns. The 8th and 13th century, the Trivet style was used in the construction of temples, mosques, tombs and buildings attached to large stocked wells. Temple construction in the early 11th century, we'll see. The Kandriya Mahadeva temple dedicated to Shiva was constructed in Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh, 999 CE by King Dhangadeva. So children, the Kandariya Mahadeva temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. It was constructed in Khajuraho. Where it is constructed in Khajuraho, and where the Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh in 999 CE. And who constructed this children? King Dhangadeva. What is the name of the king? Dhangadeva. Figure number 22.3b, children. Here, figure number 22.3b. This is the temple of Kandariya Mahadeva temple. Okay, Kandariya Mahadeva temple of Lord Shiva. The plan of the temple of the Chandela dynasty. The plan of this temple is made by the Chandela dynasty and ornamented gateway led to an entrance and the main hall Mahamandapa. Main hall is Mahamandapa, where dances were performed. The image of the chief deity was kept in the main shrine. And the next is Garbhagriha. This was the place for ritual worship where only the king, his immediate family and priests gathered. The Khajuraho complex contained royal temples where common people were not allowed to enter. The temples were decorated with elaborately carved sculpture. The Rajarajeshwara temple at Tanjavur had the tallest shikara amongst the temples of its time. Constructing it was not easy because there were no cranes in those days, and the 90-ton stone for the top of the shikara was too heavy to lift manually. So the architects built an inclined path to the top of the temple, placed the boulder or rollers and rolled it all the way to the top. The path started more than 4 kilometers away, so that is would not be too steep. The path was dismantled after the temple was constructed. So, in the olden days, constructing the highest shikara of the temple is not an easy job because in that period there were no cranes. So the architects used their skills, okay, and they construct like these temples. A new way of buildings. Two technological and stylistic developments are noticeable from the 12th century. The weight of the superstructure above the doors and windows was sometimes carried by arches. The roof too used this principle and was converted into vaults and domes. This architectural form is called arcuate. So children, which architectural form is called arcuate? The roof too used this principle. Which principle? The weight of the superstructure above the doors and windows was sometimes carried by arches. The roof too used this principle and was converted into vaults and domes. So this architectural form is called arcuate. Page number 200, children. Limestone cement was increasingly used in construction. Limestone cement was increasingly used in construction. This was very high quality cement. This limestone cement was very high quality cement, which when mixed with stone chips hardened into concrete. When mixed with stone chips hardened into concrete. This made construction of large structures easier and faster. Arches, domes and limestone mortar were used extensively in the building after 1190 CE. Take a look at the construction site in figure number 22.6. So children, this is a construction site of the Watergate of, okay, it is a Watergate Akbarnama, okay. So showing the construction of Watergate at Agra Fort. The water showing the construction site of Watergate at Agra Fort, okay. So see children, what are there? Okay, how they are constructing, see. Okay, so this is the construction site of Watergate in Agra Fort. Building temples, mosques and tanks. Temples and mosques were beautifully constructed because they were a place of worship. They were also meant to demonstrate the power, wealth and devotion of the patrons. Take the example of the Rajarajeshwara temple. An inscription mentions that it was built by King Rajarajadeva for the worship of his god. Rajarajeshwara, notice how the name of the ruler and the god are very similar. The king took the god's name because it was auspicious and he wanted to appear like a god. Through the ritual of worship in the temple on god Rajarajadeva honored another Rajarajeshwara. See children, the temples and mosques were beautifully constructed. Why children? Because it is the place of, because they were places of worship. The temples and mosques are beautifully constructed because they were places of worship and they were also meant to demonstrate the power, wealth and devotion of the patrons. Patrons means పరిపాలించే వాళ్ళు, పరిపాలించే ఎవరు? రాజులు. ఓకే, ఎవరైతే రాజు ఆ కింగ్డమ్ని పరిపాలిస్తున్నాడు. సో ఆ కింగ్డమ్లో ఉన్న టెంపుల్స్, మస్జిద్స్, మందిరాలు, మస్జిద్లు ఎంత అందంగా కట్టారో. సో అవి ఏం చూపించాయంటే ఆ రాజు పవర్ని, ఆ రాజు సంపత్తిని, ఆస్తిని చూపించేది అన్నట్టు, ఆ రాజు భక్తిని చూపించేది అన్నట్టు. దట్ ఈస్ ద సింబల్ ఆఫ్ కింగ్స్ డివోషన్, వెల్త్ అండ్ పవర్. The example of the Rajarajeshwara temple, one of the example of the Rajarajeshwara temple they given here. An inscription mentions that it was built by King Rajadeva for the worship of his god. So this Rajarajeshwara temple's inscription అంటే దానిపైన చెక్కిన ఆ డిజైన్ కానీ నకాశీలు కానీ అవి ఏమి తెలుపుతాయి అన్నట్టు రాజరాజదేవ అది చూస్తే మనకి ఏం తెలుస్తున్నాయంటే ఇది ఎవరు కట్టించారంటే కింగ్ రాజరాజదేవ కట్టించినాడు. ఎందుకంటే తన గాడ్ భక్తి కోసం ఇది కట్టించాడు అన్నట్టు, పూజ కోసం కట్టించినాడు. నోటీస్ హౌ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద రూలర్ అండ్ ద గాడ్ ఆర్ వెరీ సిమిలర్. చూడండి, కట్టించిన రాజు పేరు ఇంకా ఆ దేవుడు ఆ గాడ్ గురించి ఇది కట్టించారు. ఆ గాడ్ పేరు రాజరాజేశ్వర టెంపుల్ కట్టించిన ఎవరు? రాజరాజదేవ. సో రెండు సిమిలర్గా కనిపిస్తున్నాయి కదా పలికేటప్పుడు, ఓకేనా? సో the king took the god's name because it was auspicious and he wanted to appear like a god. So ఈ రాజరాజదేవ రాజరాజేశ్వర దేవుడి పేరు పెట్టుకున్నాడు. ఎందుకంటే ఆయనే ఆస్ట్రేలియన్ చాలా అంటే చాలా దైవభక్తి కలిగి ఉన్నాడు అన్నట్టు. ఓకే, సో దేవుడు పేరు పెట్టుకుంటే ఆయన ఎలా ఫీల్ అయ్యాడంటే నేనే దేవుడు అని ఫీల్ అయ్యాడు అన్నట్టు. సో అందుకే ఆ నైన్ నేమ్ పెట్టుకున్నాడు. వన్ గాడ్ రాజరాజదేవ హానర్డ్ అనదర్ రాజరాజేశ్వర. సో ఒక దేవుడే రాజరాజదేవ ఆయన ఇంకో దేవుడికి హానర్గా ఆదరిస్తూ మందిరం కట్టించినది ఎవరికి? రాజరాజేశ్వరకి. You may recall that Kakatiya capital Orugalu was so designed as to have the temple of Swayambhu Shiva at the center. This was built by the Kakatiyas to proclaim their power and status as independent kings. సో ఇంకొకటి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటంటే కాకతీయ క్యాపిటల్ సిటీ ఒరుగలు అంటే ఇప్పట్లో ఉన్న వరంగల్ వాజ్ డిజైన్డ్ టు హ్యావ్ ద టెంపుల్ ఆఫ్ ఓకే అక్కడ ఒక టెంపుల్ ఉంది స్వయంభూ శివ అట్ ద సెంటర్ ఓకే ఆ సిటీ మధ్యలో ఒక స్వయంభూ శివ అనే ఒక టెంపుల్ ఉన్నది. ఈ టెంపుల్ కాకతీయ కింగ్డమ్ పవర్ అండ్ స్టేటస్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ అది ఒక కాకతీయ కింగ్స్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ కింగ్స్ అని చూపించే ఒక పవర్ స్టేటస్ ఉన్నది ఈ టెంపుల్కి చూస్తే. ఓకే ద లార్జెస్ట్ టెంపుల్స్ వర్ ఆల్ కన్స్ట్రక్టెడ్ బై కింగ్స్. ద లార్జెస్ట్ టెంపుల్స్ ఓకే all the largest temple in the India were constructed by the kings only children. The other lesser deities in the temple were gods and goddesses of the allies and subordinates of the rulers. The temple was a miniature model of the world ruled by the king and his allies. As they worshipped their deities together in the royal temples, it seemed as if they brought the just rule of the gods on earth. The kings and nobles endowed the temples with land, gold and jewels so that the worship of the gods could be carried out on a grand scale. By 1200 CE, most of these temples had become elaborate institutions which employed hundreds of artisans, dancers, musicians, priests, administrators, servants, etc. They collected taxes from the villages, lent money on interest to traders, organized fairs and markets to which buyers and sellers of goods came. Several religions of Shiva and Vaishnava sects were established around these temples. These temples thus became centers of political and economic power. Kings and rulers wanted to associate their names with these temples by organizing their coronation ceremonies in the temples and by giving expensive and elaborate gifts to them and adding to the constructions. Muslim sultans and badshahs did not claim to be incarnation of God, but Persian court chronicles described the sultan as the shadow of God. An inscription in the Delhi mosque explained that God chose Alauddin as a king because he had the qualities of Moses and Solomon, the great lawgivers of the past. The greatest lawgiver and the architect was God himself. He created the world out of The greatest lawgiver and architect was God himself. He created the world out of chose and introduced order and symmetry. So who is the most beautiful architecture? God only, God himself only. Then only, that's why he created this beautiful world children. Okay. As his new dynasty came to power, kings wanted to emphasize their moral right to be the rulers. Constructing places of worship provided rulers with the chance to proclaim their close relationship with God, especially important in an age of rapid political change. Rulers also offered patronage to the learned and pious and tried to transform their capitals and cities into great cultural centers that brought fame to their rules and realm. It was popularly believed that the rule of a just king would be an age of plenty when the heavens would not withhold rain. At the same time, making precious water available by constructing tanks and reservoirs was highly praised. Sultan Iltutmish won universal respect for constructing a large reservoir just outside Delhi, Huna. It was called the Hausi Sultan or the King's Reservoir. So one of the what the kings will do, children, when they capture the another one of the king's land. So first they will establish their one temple or construct a temple or any water tank, which significant of which is symbol of their wealth, power, and devotion. So one of the example of the Sultan Iltutmish, he was constructed the big water tank. What the name of the big water tank in the Delhi, and the name of the water tank is Hausi Sultan or King's Reservoir. It is a big water tank. Rulers often constructed tanks and reservoirs, big and small, for use by ordinary people. Why these rulers are constructed reservoirs, children? Because rulers constructed tanks and reservoirs because maybe it big tanks or it maybe it small tanks or big reservoirs, small reservoirs. Why they are constructing? For use by ordinary people for irrigation purpose, they are constructing like this tanks and reservoirs. Why were temples destroyed? Why were temples destroyed? Since the kings built temples to demonstrate their devotion to God and their power and wealth, it is not surprising that when they attacked on one another's kingdom, they often targeted these buildings. So why the kings have constructed temples, my school children? To demonstrate their devotion to God, wealth and power. And when one king is attacked on another's kingdom, they target to damage these temples, mosques and buildings. In the early 19th century, the Pandyan king. What is the name of Pandyan king? Shirvallabha invaded Sri Lanka and defeated the king Sena I. When he defeated the king Sena I, 851, the Buddhist monk and chronicler Dhammakitti noted he removed all the valuables. The statue of the Buddha made entirely of gold in the jewel palace and the golden images in the various monasteries. All these he seized. So children, here they given the one example of how one king is attacking to another's kingdom and how he is looting the wealth from the temples and their worship places. They given one example of here Pandyan king. Pandyan king name is Sri Vallabha. What is the king name? Sri Vallabha invaded Sri Lanka and invaded Sri Lanka and defeated the king Sena I, and he removed all the valuables from the Buddhist monk and Dhammakitti Buddhist monk statue. Okay, so he removed all the valuables. This Pandyan king removed all the valuables from the Buddhist statue, statue of the Buddha, which made entirely of gold in the jewel palace, where it is in the jewel palace, and the golden images in the various monasteries, and he looted all the golden images from all the monasteries. So like this they will loot, they will take off all the wealthy things from the temples and worship places. All these he seized. The blow to the pride of the Sinhalese Sri Lankan ruler had to be avenged, and the next Shinhel's ruler, Sena II ordered his general to invade Madurai, the capital of the Pandyas. The Buddhist chronicler noted that the expedition made a special effort to find and restore the golden statue of the Buddha. So whatever the Pandyan kings take off the all valuables from the statue of Buddha, the again next attack, Sena II ordered his army attack on the Sri Lanka, Madurai, and he get back the all valuables of the Buddha statue and he restored them. So this is one incident they given here. Okay. So next is they given here. Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni was a contemporary of Rajendra I during his campaigns in the subcontinent. He also attacked the temples of defeated kings and looted their wealth and idols. Sultan Muhammad was not a very important ruler at that time, but by destroying temples, especially the one at Somnath, he tried to win credit as a great hero of Islam. In the political culture of the Middle Age, most rulers displayed their political might and military success by attacking and looting the places of worship of the defeated rulers. So here they given one of the incident of Sultan of Ghazni was a contemporary of Rajendra I. During his campaigns, in the subcontinent, he also attacked on the many temples of the defeated kings and he looted the wealth and idols from the kings. And this is the trend began in this period. The kings are looting the wealth and idols from worship places of the defeated kings. So children, today we will stop here. Once you do the silent reading, then we will see the further topic. Children, write here Sakshi like this. Sakshi. Subject write social. Class you write 7 and HW what to write? Learn and write question and answers from textbook page number 198, 200 in HW 1 and here you have to take the parent sign and your teacher will do the sign. So write this homework and send it to the school mail ID in a time, children. We will meet with the remaining part of this lesson in the next session. Till then, bye bye.